This morning, I wanted to talk a little bit about something different. For the whole month of June, I have been talking about optimizing for conversion. I've been talking about different types of conversion and kind of bringing up the conversation for us of getting more out of your digital marketing efforts, at the very least, figuring out what it is you want to get out of your digital marketing efforts and seeing how we can get that. A lot of the workshops I've been doing this month, maybe even all of them, have been centered around figuring out what your goals are and how to actually achieve those goals, how to make the things that you want to have happen in the world happen. And what I've realized by having these conversations and doing these Marketing Monday videos and doing these workshops this month is that for some of us as small business owners, the risk that it took, the effort that it took to get past the initial risk of starting was very high and maybe even a little traumatic. And I will say, for myself, as someone who is a very risk accepting person, as most small business owners are, we are risk accepting people. It doesn't mean that we are constantly out there chasing down risk. And matter of fact, if the risk seems like it's something we have no control over or things like that, a lot of times we won't do it. The concept of being risk accepting is really just like everything else. It's really situational. And so you may have accepted the risk of starting your own business, and you may have accepted the risk of doing any number of other things related to having your own business. But then the idea of doing certain risky things with your marketing or any other aspect of your business is extremely terrifying. And again, this is not a judgment. This is just reality. I want you all to acknowledge for yourselves, if this is what's happening, that it is what's happening, because unfortunately, you cannot get to the other side of optimized results without taking some sort of risks. I had originally named this Marketing Monday topic something like trial and error of conversion optimization. And I read it back to myself and thought, oh, that's why they don't want to do it. They don't want to trial and error. They don't want to error. So let's talk about this. So let's talk about this error situation for a second. Let's talk about the risk, and let's talk about what the reality is. So the reality is that as a small business owner, you're going to be taking risk all the time. That's just how it works. And with marketing, there are no guarantees. Let me give you an example. So right now on Instagram, which this is not on Instagram, like it will be when I do the video again in a few minutes on Instagram. But on Instagram, Reels are very much so the way to go right now. So you've probably heard this. You probably have heard people tell you, if you really want to optimize your Instagram right now, you need to be doing Reels, because the platform, not because of any influencers or anything like that, but because the platform is actually promoting Reels more than they're promoting anything else. Matter of fact, you can get discovered using Reels where you cannot get discovered using almost any other method. So you can get discovered via hashtags, but you have to be perfectly aligned with your audience and using exactly the right hashtags at the right time. Now, when I say that Reels are the way to go and all that good stuff, you might think, okay, so Reels means if I go and do Reels, then I can always succeed. No matter what I put out there, it'll be great. And the answer is no, that's not true. There are absolutely people out there who are doing Reels and not getting eyeballs. They're not getting attention. They're not getting, because there is no guarantee. There is nothing that I can say, if you do this, then there's a guaranteed outcome of X. And anyone who tells you that is lying. And so there is no digital marketing activity that has a guaranteed result, period. So everything you do is going to be risky when it comes to your digital marketing. And that's scary as hell. I get it. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do things, right? We should take measured risks, and we should take minor risks. So what I'm always trying to advocate for you is, if you're thinking, okay, I need to optimize the SEO on my website, I'm not suggesting that you go out and you pay some firm $25,000 in order to optimize your entire website in one fell swoop, because you may never see that money back in a return on investment. That is a very big risk. If you are an average small business owner, $25,000 is a lot of money to give someone to do something that you have no way of knowing whether or not it's going to work. Now, that is not to say that you shouldn't do search engine optimization. That's not to say that at all. Matter of fact, I very strongly believe in search engine optimization. I'm doing it for 2 companies right now. But what I suggest you do, instead of going and putting all the money in that one big old basket, instead, I suggest that you go slow. Like maybe do 1 or 2 pages of on page optimization for your website. Try to use some of the tools that are available out there to make sure that your text is actually aligned with what the web crawlers are looking for, that you have good keywords, that you are using those keywords an appropriate amount of time, that you are like tying everything to your customer's journey, and that you have a really great call to action of something that you actually want to happen when someone reads that page, and then measuring the results of that one activity. This is what I mean by there has to be something. You're going to risk something. Either you're going to pay someone to do that activity on a platform like Upwork or Fiverr or whatever, where you just pay someone to start getting you moving in the right direction. And then you will test and see how well that activity worked, and then maybe work yourself up to doing some sort of larger SEO play for your website. But I don't suggest for any of you who are in that terrified position where you're like, if this $25 does not bring me 50 grand, I can't afford it and I'm going to go out of business. Please don't do that. I have had people who wanted to work with me in the past who were like, I think I want to take out a loan in order to pay you to do some digital marketing for me. And I'm like, no, don't do that. And everyone's like, why would you ever turn down people's money? And I'm like, because if you have to take out a loan for it, you're going to have to pay that loan back to someone, A, and then B, whatever activities come from it, the risk level on it is so high for you. The return has to be exceptional, and you have to get your money back plus the interest you're paying to the bank, plus some sort of return on top of all of that, and in some sort of very reasonable time. And it's not that can't happen. It's that with digital marketing, there's no guarantee that it will happen. So sometimes we get fantastic results extremely quickly, and other times we get fantastic results very slowly, and other times we don't get fantastic results over an extremely long period of time. And what it is important for you to understand as someone who's consuming digital marketing from other people, advice, and buying services and doing things on your own, is that what we have to think of is that in business, one of the things that will continue to be risky for basically the entire time you're in business is marketing, because there's no guaranteed outcome. Literally, there's no, I spend this much money on ads, I get this kind of result. There are people out there who were spending $8,000 a month on ads, and from one day to the next, their ads changed. Like literally, the ad didn't change, but the outcome on those ads changed. I've seen it with businesses who come to me going, oh my God, we were doing this and it was working, and then it stopped. This is what I mean by there's no guarantee. So even if something is working fantastically, that doesn't mean that thing is going to continue to work forever, because there's so many variables at play. Now, this is not a conversation that I'm having with you to talk you out of doing digital marketing or hiring other people to do your digital marketing or getting digital marketing education. What I want all of us to do when we're looking at optimizing and changing and growing is that you have to realize there will be some risk involved, period. And that the risk of being in business does not stop when you start. Like when you quit your job and start your business, that's not the end of the risk that's involved. But you do want to be smart with your risk. You want to be smart with the way that you're going forward with optimization, smart with how you're playing things out and doing things. And I love what Pat's saying right now about consistency. It's so important, because even when you are doing digital marketing, a lot of times the long play, the thing that's going to get you the results, is the long play. And so you may have started with no results and a little bit of money or a lot of money. And the temptation when you don't get that money back immediately, or when you don't see that return immediately, is to stop doing the thing, when in all reality, sometimes it just takes time. Like sometimes you get those fantastic results over a long period of time. And a lot of times, if you're putting a lot of money into it or a lot of resources, you just get stuck and you're like, but I can't afford to keep doing this anymore. I can't afford to keep putting these resources in. And a lot of times we say we don't want to throw good money after bad and all those types of things, which is the reason why I say if you can't afford the outlay up front, don't do it, because what it will do is cause you to quit before your results come in. Anything else, like When you go to the gym, what is the recommendation when you start working out? Go slow, go light. Don't go in and lift the heaviest weights that you can lift today, right now, because if you do, you will be in pain tomorrow and the next day and maybe even the day after that. And when you are in pain 3 days from now, are you going to want to go back to the gym? No, you are not going to want to go, especially if you're just getting off the couch and going. You're going to be in so much pain, you're just going to quit. Even though, of course, the results and the success from working out come over such a long period of time, and then they're sustained over that same period of time. And of course, as you guys can hear, the mowing has commenced below the window. This week, we got a break last week because of the rain. We are not getting a break today. But anyway, I just want to make sure that we understand that there is, in digital marketing, in business, there's no reward. There are no results without some sort of risks. So with that, and that, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that you all are willing to take some measured risk, do some things that are going to challenge you, and maybe even invest a little bit of money along the way. But please don't hurt yourself. Don't invest so much money that it would be inordinately painful. Oh, wait, he's gone. Inordinately painful if you lost it. Don't risk so much that you couldn't sustain it over a long period of time. Put yourself in the position for the best outcome for you possible, which is essentially going to require that you do measured steps and move forward with those measured steps. And when you do that, you will see results over time, and then you'll be able to optimize those results over time because you won't be in pain. Okay. Now, of course, if you're the kind of person who's like, all go, no quit, go all in, if you that person, do it. Go for it. If it won't hurt you to lose the money or to have the money go away and you don't know when you're going to get it back, that is fine. I am not talking to you. I totally understand that mindset. I have been that person. I've also been, again, because it's situational, I have been the other person because all of the risk acceptance that we have is situational. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're like, this is scary, that's fine. Take one step at a time. Okay. I'm talking to the people who are a little scared, who are afraid to start, the people who are afraid to look at their numbers, the people who are afraid to get started doing reels or get started doing anything because you don't know what the results are going to be. There are no rewards without the risk. So you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to get out there and do something, and you're going to have to do it before you can see whether or not you're going to get results. But I do encourage you, if you are in the position where that is a scary thing, to be measured with your risk so that essentially you'll be able to keep going. Because what we want is success over time. We want consistency, as Pat said, but we can't get that if we're not willing to go all in on ourselves, right?